What a pleasant sight it is to have a cozy house in the middle of the winter. And now when the weather outside is getting cold and maybe dreary a little bit, everything from the outside is moving into the house. All my plants are coming into the house for our wintering time. The reading of books, napping in the garden. And suddenly, for me, my house is turning into this island of cozy meals and baked goods and anticipation of Thanksgiving and Christmas. So it all feels super good to be inside the house. And today I'm going to share with you my very special room, which is, we call it our sunroom, where all my plants, my good friends, are living year round. And I'm going to show you good tips on how to group plants, very cheaply by the way and very beautifully, and how to organize the soil around plants. So let's begin. This room is pretty small. It has two distinct sections. This area is like a sitting area. We have spent a lot of time. There are two chairs here. I do a lot of reading here so this is my chair, and that's the chair of my husband. Sun usually shines on this chair in the morning, and my husband spent a lot of time there. And we have a wonderful window. Just look how big and nice it is. I do like nice big windows. And that window has a beautiful wide windowsill, and all my plants are living here year round. Sometimes it does get cold here, so I have to move some of my plants inside. So let's look what we have here. Right here, this aloe plant I planted 2 years ago. And aloe is so good at creating little baby plants. You see, he's happy here. He keeps creating little guys. And if you don't know how to replant aloe, it is very easy to replant. You just break off one of the babies, put it into the ground, and at the beginning aloe will look very dull and sick looking, but then in a week or so it will start to green up again, will develop its root system and will root for you. So I consider aloe to be a very, dependable plant. Sensitive to drought though. When you don't water it well, these edges here becomes kind of unsightly. But I guess that's how aloe conserve moisture. So next to it, we do have this big succulent. I believe it's called Gasteria aloe. And look, this guy lived for several years already in my house, and it has some damage from the cold weather. You see, I left it several days in very cold temperature here in the winter, and it got damaged. But you know what the good thing is? This aloe creates a lot of babies. Let's see where they are. Right here. Look at them. Oh, I'm going to get them out. And you know what I'm doing with them? I plant them in small pots, and then I'm using them as little, baby plant gifts for friends and family. Here we have little, I believe it's called dwarf jade plant, rainbow bush, and it's struggling here. It's sharing space with aloe, and look like aloe is taking over, right? Silver star succulent. I think my son brought it into the house, and also babies are created one after another here, I like this succulent. It also can serve as a very good gift in small pots. Look, I have another one right here. Just look how many babies are being created around in one big ball. I want to show you how I'm organizing the space. You see here in pots, if you have little stones or colorful shells, you see the shell here, You can nicely tuck them into your plants, and it does look good. Instead of staring at that bare soil there, you can stare at beautiful, colorful shells, you know. Look at this little guy right here. All right. Now I want to show you how I am grouping plants to display them well on the windowsill. Okay, this string of pearls. This is another plant of my kids, which I'm babysitting, and I'm sure these strings will look so well hanging down. But since I don't have any space, they're sitting here like this, and I guess growing longer and longer, you know. Another jade plant, dwarf jade plant. He is a traveler for me, because in summer he goes outside, and I want to make sure that I don't get him out too long into the fall, because his stems become burgundy angry. This year I made sure he stayed inside this plant, and he looks like he didn't change any color of his stems, you know. But look what I want to show you. You see how I grouped my plants here? When you go into any secondhand store, there are always this section where there are tons of trays which are beaten and badly used in the kitchen section, and nobody's buying them for their kitchens because they're bad, you know, they have stains and whatnot, and they cost $1 or a dime, and nobody knows what to do with them. Well, guess what? You can buy these trays, and you see they are damaged. You see the inside there? They're damaged, and water is going to damage them even more. And I use them to group my plants. Look how lovely that looks, right? So we can do the same. Look here, I have a set of trays. Well, this one was broken. This was my kitchen tray, a lovely one. Well, what happened, you see this? I broke it. So I glued it, and I'm going to use it for the garden. When I see my guests in summer, I'm going to put this in the middle of the table, and then I will put several plants here, and this tray will look so good, you know. And I wouldn't mind if it will get wet or dirty. It will end up in the, it would have been in the garbage already, but I'm giving it another life, you know. So the same with this tray. Look at this. Nobody would use it in the kitchen, but I am using it for my plants outside, and happy to do that. My big plant, jade tree, has in it a little issue here. He's growing in too small of a pot, and that pot has a narrow opening. So I have no idea how to get this jade tree replanted. And look at this guy. This is another jade tree. I was mentioning it in one of my other videos. You know what happened to this guy? Something fell on it. And literally for 6 months, that jade tree was like this tall, doing nothing, moving nowhere. And then suddenly it started growing, and look how nice and bushy it is. Lovely, I like it. On another side of my chair, I wanted to have space to put coffee on, so we bought this wonderful table, and look, I'm going to show you. My pothos is growing here too big. You see how wonderful this table is? So I said to myself, okay, somebody gave me this plant as a gift, and I planted it here, and look, of course, it's a trailing plant. And do you see a table behind it? No, you don't. I have to struggle to put my coffee there, you know? But that's it. So this is about this side of my sunroom. And when you look on this wall, you will see the exit into the garden. And here I have another set of plants which came from outside. We have spider plant here, and this is I also am babysitting this plant for my daughter. This is lime tree. Getting, you know what, quite happy here. Let's see how it will overwinter here for the winter. But beautiful open French doors. I can see the whole garden. And this area is another side of my sunroom. As you can see, we have shelves built in. And we have 2 sofas where the company can sit. There are a lot of different prints here on both sides. And through the window, it looks hazy outside right now, and cold. Through the window, you can see my roses. And next year, on this support, you will see a wonderful Katrina rose, and it will be a sight to see. And then we will have generous garden at the back. So I can see my roses on 3 sides from the sunroom, which makes it very comfortable, you know. It's a very sunny room. And the fact that the paint which is used on the walls is warm butter paint makes it very cozy here. Let me show you my collection of Portmeirion dishes. I do like Portmeirion company, and during my last visit to the second-hand store, look at this beautiful picture I picked up. I think my roses or hydrangeas next year will look so good in this picture. You know, when deep fall comes, I always have a feeling that life slows down at this time of the year, before Thanksgiving, when Christmas is just coming. You know, kids' activities are slowing down, and the garden jobs, most of them are finished. And now I'm into baking and cooking and decorating the house, making everything nice and cozy. And I like it. I like the season before Christmas, Thanksgiving. And now when we have our first kid in college, everything is different about holidays. Now it's kids coming home, you know. And you want to make it lovely in the house for everyone, to cheer them and to celebrate them, and to make sure that kitchen is full of good aroma and wonderful food. And oh, Christmas, how lovely it is. I do like to decorate the house for Christmas. And the other day I was joking with my daughter. I just tried to, you know, kind of tuck her into the shoulder and say, hey, maybe this year we shouldn't do Christmas tree. And my daughter looked at me and she said, Mom, are you joking? Of course, Christmas tree and all the decorations and everything what you do in the house, of course we should do it all. So that was kind of nice that kids love that tradition too, the festivities of the holidays. Well, this is a nook where I'm spending my winter hours, you know, and we also have another nook. We have a fireplace in the house. So that space gives us a lot of warmth and comfort. And the life of Carmody's household is quite delightful in the winter. And then when spring comes, those fresh winds of greenery from outside bring me all out. I forget about the house, I forget about the cooking and baking and decorating. I'm all outside, cheering every fresh flower and every green leaf, and I spend literally hours outside. And then this, you know, this movement of a year where you're ready for spring when spring comes. And then you're ready for fall when fall is there. You know, after busy summer days, I'm kind of ready for a good rest of the fall, you know, for that house comfort. All right, my dear gardeners, I will see you in my next video. And again, I will always say happy gardening, even if it's not gardening, but still, happy gardening.